Let us talk about Jason and the specific detail that is currently blowing my mind. Ever since his highly anticipated return, Jason has not been the same man who left. We all saw it. He walked back in, and immediately something felt incredibly off. The man who was once the fiercely loyal enforcer for Sonny, the guy who would take a bullet without a second thought for his friends, suddenly wants nothing to do with the mob. He told Sonny he was out. He claims his time in WSB captivity fundamentally changed him and that his only priority now is his son, Danny. On the surface, that sounds like a beautiful redemption arc for a father who just wants to make up for lost time. But if you ask me, that explanation is way too simple for a world as complicated as this one. It may not be a coincidence that Jason's sudden moral pivot aligns perfectly with the exact moment the WSB needs a new leader to operate in the shadows. Let us rewind for a second. We know Jocelyn made a secret deal with WSB head Z to secure the full release of Jason and Valentine by pinning all of Cullum's crimes on the deceased Cassian. But do we really believe a master manipulator like Z would just let a lethal, highly effective asset like Jason walk away tangent-free just because a college student asked nicely? There may be more to this story. Z is not a man who gives away freedom for free. He extracts a heavy price. That's where things become interesting. I believe Z did not just pardon Jason. He conscripted him. My massive theory is that Jason is the new secret director of the WSB. He is the man chosen to replace Cullum, but his identity is being kept strictly off the books. To the rest of the town, Jason is just a weary father trying to leave his violent past behind. But in the shadows, he is running the WSB's most classified operation. Think about it. The WSB cannot afford another public scandal after Cullum. They need a ghost. They need someone who knows how to operate in the criminal underworld, someone who understands leverage, and someone who can execute orders without hesitation. Jason fits that profile perfectly. But here is the tragic twist. Jason did not accept this job because he wanted it. He accepted it because he had absolutely no choice. He is not a free man. He is a prisoner with a fancy, invisible title. The WSB broke him during his captivity, not through physical torture, but by finding the one thing he could not sacrifice. Z forced him into this role, essentially telling him that he either takes over Cullum's mess in the dark, or his loved ones pay the ultimate price. This could explain a lot about why Jason has been acting so distant, so quiet, and so incredibly reserved since he got back. He is not just suffering from trauma. He is actively hiding a massive double life from everyone he cares about. If my theory holds up, Jason's first secret mission as the shadow director of the WSB is already underway, and it involves Brennan. We all know Brennan is still technically a WSB agent, but the guy has gone completely rogue. He is operating on his own, making side deals, romancing Nina, and desperately searching for a mysterious black box that Valentine found at Windermere. Z is not an idiot. Z knows Brennan cannot be trusted anymore. Brennan has too many of his own agendas, and that black box likely contains secrets that could dismantle the WSB or give Brennan ultimate leverage over the agency. So, what does Z do? He sends his new secret weapon. I suspect Jason has been ordered to investigate Brennan and retrieve that black box before Brennan or Valentine can figure out what is truly inside it. Jason has to play the part of the neutral, retired enforcer, flying under the radar while secretly tracking Brennan's every move. Brennan thinks he is the smartest guy in the room, manipulating Drew and playing games with Willow, but he might not realize that the deadliest ghost in town is currently breathing down his neck on Z's direct orders. The bigger question is, what happens after Brennan? If Z is truly trying to rebuild the WSB and eliminate all potential threats to global security, there is one massive target sitting right in the middle of everything: Sonny. For decades, the WSB has tolerated Sonny's empire because it maintained a certain balance. But Z is a different breed of leader. He might view Sonny's organization as a loose end that needs to be tied up permanently. And who better to dismantle that empire than the man who helped build it? This is where the theory gets incredibly dark. What if Z has ordered Jason to secretly gather evidence against Sonny. Jason told Sonny he was leaving the business, which perfectly removes him from any direct implication in Sonny's current crimes. But it also gives Jason the perfect cover to watch Sonny from the outside. Sonny still loves Jason. Sonny still trusts Jason, even if he is hurt by his departure. Jason can use that residual trust to get close, to observe, and to compile the ultimate dossier that will bring Sonny down once and for all. It would be the most agonizing mission of Jason's life. He would not be betraying Sonny out of malice. He would be doing it because Z is holding a gun to his head, metaphorically speaking. And we cannot ignore how Carly fits into this massive web of deception. Carly has been thrilled to have Jason back, leaning on him for support and celebrating his return to her life. But if you ask me, Jason's interactions with Carly have a distinct layer of underlying panic. He knows that Carly is currently tangled up with Valentine, and by extension, the lingering shadows of Brennan. If Jason is secretly investigating Brennan for Z, and Carly is unwittingly caught in the crossfire of Brennan and Valentine's feud over that black box, Jason is essentially watching his best friend walk through a minefield. He cannot warn her without blowing his cover as the WSB's shadow director, but he also cannot let her get hurt. This forces Jason to play a dangerous game of manipulation, trying to steer Carly away from Brennan and Valentine without ever explaining the real, terrifying reason why. It adds a whole new level of heartbreak to their reunion, knowing that Jason is lying to her face every single time they speak. And that brings us to the most heartbreaking piece of this entire puzzle, Danny. Everyone is swooning over the fact that Jason is finally putting Danny first, taking him on father-son vacations, and spending all this quality time at the boathouse. But what if those vacations are not just bonding trips? What if they are supervised check-ins? If Z wanted to ensure Jason's absolute unwavering compliance, he would need leverage. Danny is that leverage. I believe Z explicitly ordered Jason to keep Danny close. By keeping Danny in Jason's immediate orbit, the WSB can monitor the boy constantly. Danny is essentially a hostage living in plain sight. Z is sending a clear message to Jason. As long as you do exactly what I say, as long as you run the WSB from the shadows, investigate Brennan, and build a case against Sonny, your son gets to live a happy, normal life. But the second you step out of line, the second you try to warn Carly or Sonny about what is really going on, Danny disappears. This completely recontextualizes every single interaction Jason has had since he returned. When Jason looks at Danny, he is not just feeling a father's love. He is feeling the crushing weight of a hostage negotiator who knows one wrong word could get his kid killed. When Jason distances himself from Carly, it is not because he does not love her. It is because he is desperately trying to keep her out of Z's crosshairs. He is isolating himself to protect them. He is a king trapped on a chessboard, forced to capture his own pieces to satisfy a ruthless player. Think about the psychological toll this is taking on Jason. He spent years being Sonny's right-hand man, living by a strict code of loyalty. Now, he is being forced to violate every single principle he holds dear. He has to lie to Danny's face every day, pretending they are safe when they are actually surrounded by invisible WSB snipers. He has to look Sonny in the eye and pretend he just wants a quiet life, all while knowing he is the weapon Z will eventually use to destroy the Empire. It is a brilliant, twisted, and devastating narrative shift that turns Jason from a loyal enforcer into a tragic, compromised government operative. We may be looking at the beginning of something huge here, guys. The truth could be closer than anyone realizes, hiding right behind Jason's stoic expressions and quiet demeanor. The WSB is not gone from the shadows. It has simply evolved, and it is now wearing the face of the most trusted protector. If Jason is truly Z's secret director, a massive collision is inevitable. Eventually, Brennan will figure out he is being hunted. Eventually, Sonny will realize his best friend is gathering evidence against him. And eventually, Jason will have to make a choice. Someone may not be ready for what's coming next, and that someone is Jason himself. He cannot serve two masters forever. A day will come when Z pushes him too far, when the order to destroy Sonny or hand over Brennan puts Danny directly in the line of fire. When that day arrives, Jason will have to decide whether to remain the WSB's obedient shadow director or burn the entire agency to the ground to save his son. Keep your eyes wide open, because the real war hasn't even started yet.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.